DC here. Hi guys and gals. Well, I'm out walking, as you can see. Right next to me, they're building some apartment buildings, which I find a real pity. You know why? There used to be a beautiful farmhouse there, which they tore down, and they're building these apartment buildings. Sure, they'll have a great view, but it was a pity. It was a farm here. They had some cows, they had some alpacas, and yeah, I mean, there's just a field now. I don't know what's going to happen. Anyway, it's like, I don't know, 40 apartments, condos and stuff like that. Yeah, anyway. I was, when was that? Was it last week? I think that in a Jasmine tag, there was a discussion about, do you have rulers and things like that? And at one point on another question, another tag, Jasmine mentioned something about in school when a teacher had hit with a ruler, but not flat, you know, on the side. And it reminded me when I was in school, because we're about the same age. And when I was in school, corporal, bodily punishment was not an issue. I mean, not an issue in the sense that nobody talked about it. You could get the strap, you could get the ruler, and yes, the ruler sometimes was flat and sometimes it was on this other edge, and that really did hurt. I had never got the strap or even the ruler from the teachers, but I mean, from the other kids, it happened, of course. But yeah, it was a different world. We're talking about like in the 60s. So, 1960s, not 1860s, by the way. I mean, some of you might think we're old, but we're not quite that old. Now, one thing that was quite regular, at least in the school where I was, is that if you were really a bad kid, you might be sent, of course, to the principal's office, or if you were really bad, they'd put your desk in the hall so that everyone could could see that you had been punished. We had one young man. He was from a particularly wild family. I won't mention his name. His first name was Johnny. Yeah, almost, aren't they all called Johnny or something like that? But his first name was Johnny. And my grandmother, so from my mom's side, knew his mom quite well. But I talk about this family because there had been, most of the children later on in life had to be placed into social care because there was a whole bunch of problems, especially with the daughters. And I don't mean the daughters were the problem. The father was the problem with the daughters. I'll leave it at that. But Johnny used to bring things to school. And one of the things he brought was a turtle, one of those snapping turtle type things. And it was pretty big. It was about it was big enough that, let me see, the size of take 3 footballs, American footballs, maybe in length, something like that. It was a big thing. And Johnny had brought it, and he had left it in the class. So, you've seen probably people standing on their chairs for mice or what. Well, you had part of a class standing on his chair. Because have you ever seen how turtles lift their heads, And where I was from, like I say, we had turtles, and there was a well-known but sad story of a young boy. Young boys had gone swimming, and one had been actually, well, I don't know the whole story exactly, but I mean, when the turtles got to him. Anyway. Now, the teacher at the time was the mom of one of the girls in the class. Now, just quickly, some nice yellow flowers. And so, of course, that was a bit of a problem as well. But so when she came and saw the turtle, well, she screamed a little bit herself, went and got the principal. And he came and, well, forced Johnny to get rid of the turtle and then tied Johnny to his chair. Can you imagine doing things like that in today's world? So anyway, that was one of the things. The next day, the teacher came and tried to open up her book, which she kept. So she had like I guess it was the French grammar book. And she couldn't. Why? Because there was worms that had been squished in between every page. Was it Johnny? Yeah, it was. I mean, we were there. We saw him do it. And that was his way of getting back. Of course, it didn't go well, as you can imagine. Now, I might continue another vlog about the other stories of my childhood in grade school, because we had a nice reputation. We were known as one of the wildest classes that had existed in a non-inner city town. Yeah, but it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Anyway, like I say, Johnny was always bringing things for us. He was pretty interesting. Yeah. A side note, but actually a very bad side note, is that this teacher later on in life, we weren't living in the town by then, and she was a retired woman by then, was murdered at her home. From what I understood is that she had been tied up and was murdered. Yeah, just to say, even in small towns, things like that happen. Anyway, I will bring up some more scary stories from my childhood in another vlog another time, but we're up to 8 minutes, so I'll just stop there. I thought I'd bring something different. This certainly is different for sure. But you see, small towns could be pretty wild, even those days. And one thing for sure is that punishment, at least in the grade school period, was certainly very similar. Was not at all similar, I was going to say, to what we hear today. That's for sure. Okay, that'll be DC signing off. Scary story number 1. Another vlog will come at another time. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.